Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our session, Meet the Global Leader, which is organized by School of Entrepreneurship Development. It's a non-profit organization based in Bangladesh. So I'm Mahbub, host of this webinar. The objective of this webinar is to share the journey of a person who is from different countries, how they do things differently, and how they develop some skills when they're in university. So we try to cover the story of their university life to the person they are right now, how they're doing things, why they're doing things differently, and the things they see through their eyes. So they will share also some lessons and advice for our audience who are university going students. So welcome, Maya, to our session.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely to be here. Hi, everybody, and greetings from Finland.
Great. One of the happiest countries in the world. So,
Absolutely,
yeah. So that's why you look happy. Uh,
always.
yeah. So, Maya, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, trying to be short here. So, my background is in industrial engineering management. That's where I focused on in my bachelor's, master's, and now in my PhD as well. That is well, my main focus at the moment. So there, my research looks into power to X ecosystems. That means that basically, well, it's about hydrogen economy and clean energy transformation and how we can change the entire system to be, well, 100% based on renewable. So I look at the finances of that. Besides, I've been very active player in the European and, well, also African entrepreneurial ecosystems. We have and volunteered for quite a few initiatives, found an NGO called Ambitious Africa. And then also I was very active in the university's entrepreneurship society. Yeah, during the studies, and actually I just came from the alumni event before this call, so still very active in the community there. Yeah, that's about me. And then I do a lot of sports: swimming, gym, snowboarding, golf,
Great.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Great. Really great. And we'll go to know about how do you manage time. But before that, how was your university life? What did you do apart from your study? What activities you were involved with, and why did you
Hmm.
involve with those activities? And what did you learn by being involved with these activities?
Yeah, that is a very good question. So I started my university in 2016, and I moved to a new city. So I'm originally from Helsinki, and then I moved to Lappeenranta, so I knew nobody. It was entirely new place and environment. So I actually consider that a huge opportunity to really get to know totally new people, make new friends, and then really explore, um, like, well, the uni life at least. So what I did there, besides, so of course the studies, I love them, like math, physics, that kind of things the best, and leadership studies as well. But then I would say the most important thing in the university and from the bubble were the people. Absolutely. No matter the activity, I was involved in the sports clubs and then the guild. So basically, the students of industrial engineering and management have this like a community that is organizing all kinds of events. So I was active in participating to those. Then what else? Of course, this entrepreneurship society was very important to me. We had all kinds of excursions, for example, visiting startups in or across Finland. So we jumped into a bus and then just drove to a random place and met local entrepreneurs there. So those were super valuable as well. And yeah, it was the people. No matter the event, I always wanted to get to know new people, and then also build like deeper connections with the people I already knew, and then also not only meeting the people was valuable, but then also building things with them. For example, 2018 we built an entrepreneurship or like an accelerator for startups. So there again, I got to meet fantastic people. Of course, the program was good, and it's still running. That is very lovely. However, then I got to know the people, and yeah, very like still in touch with them. So yeah,
That's
very broad, but the people, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the way you mentioned very wonderful activities or initiatives you were involved with, because the thing that you mentioned, that you get to go and solve, where you solve some projects and startups, and
Mm,
this was very important, and this is also important because when you know things like the life of an entrepreneur, the life of a
mm,
professional person, then while you are a university student, then you can design, and then you can actually realize or visualize what you want to be, and based on that you can design your career. And
mm.
when you know what you want to be, you can develop some skills, you can develop yourself before graduation to be that person you are dreaming. So how it helped you when you are, like with that entrepreneurship society, and you are
Mm.
like knowing startups, visiting them, and seeing how they are solving some, like problem, and what made you think when you like visited and meeting those people who are in entrepreneurial sector?
Yeah. Once again, excellent question. So maybe a bit of background. So when studying industrial engineering and management, so it's like engineering, many of the people then end up building their career in very big corporates, corporations, in heavy industries and very traditional industries, or just like big companies. So it's definitely not the norm to then start to build something on your own. And then if looking at the university courses, also the companies, for example, visiting there are the bigger companies oftentimes, or they get the visibility. So building a startup and all the entrepreneurial things were very new to me. Yet, or I think the first spark to seeing what that really means was in 2017 when I volunteered Slush, which is the world's biggest startup event taking place in
Yeah,
Helsinki. I can recommend that,
so
absolutely.
powerful, so interactive, like it's
Yeah,
so amazing, so many people, so many entrepreneurs, it's so amazing. Yeah, I saw
yeah,
it
mm,
in
yeah. So you've seen pictures from there, or like videos or so.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, so it's like a festival for startups and investors. It's yeah, it's a place where everybody comes together to just share new ideas and share what they're working on. And I was super inspired about seeing how people are actually making things happen and kind of changing the future or building the future and having a vision for the better tomorrow. And then by building these startups, they can actually execute. Let's say personally, I'm working like I do want to be part of solving climate change. So there we had like fantastic startups then making concrete steps for
Can't hear you, Maya, can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now
Okay,
it's
okay. Now my camera froze. Okay, now I'm back.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
here.
so I was just typing slush, and then after the first volunteering experience, then I really start thinking a bit differently and think about like, hey, these startups, do they mean? And then consider them actually a very nice way to solve problems. And then also, yeah, just like way of, um, well, kind of concretizing the creativity I have, like, and the drive for like actually driving the change and making things happen. So then got involved in this entrepreneurial society, and then throughout the events, for example, well, became quite active there. It's meant in practice it meant many things, and nowadays, then, for example, having the company myself, and I think I would not have that without the entrepreneurial society or entrepreneurship society experience and then the slush experience. Yeah, there you go. Long answer again.
Yeah, no, it's good to know, because like what we are today, it's like it has a connection about what we were doing or we did before, or maybe we were involved with something very meaningful and impactful. Now that's why you are the person you are right now, because of
Mm.
that maybe. So the thing is, like this is very important. How do you suggest to like university students uh, regarding the importance of being involved with this kind of like so many, not so many, some organizations or activities or extracurricular activities apart from their study,
Mm.
how it helps students to shape their skill, shape their career, according to you?
I would at least encourage everybody to be curious about what's there, and let's say join the events and like studies. I would say they're still important, but if only listening to the teachers, they're, I think, only pushing for the homework and, reading books. That's very good. I do that too. But then besides that, there's much more that you cannot really learn at the classroom. So I definitely encourage people to go out and be curious, meet people, hear their stories, learn from them. And then also, I think it's kind of important to think about what you like. What do you like to do? What do you love to do? And then maybe from there, you also start to find the most meaningful career path for you, or like lifestyle or whatever it might be. Yeah, but that's something no one is telling you. Like, hey, you like this thing, but you need to really figure it out yourself.
Definitely. Here,
Yeah.
sometimes like students in Bangladesh, they involve themselves with so many organizations,
Mm.
sometimes which are not meaningful. Sometimes they want to say, "Oh, I'm the member of this club." They want to put a list of groceries similar to list of groceries that I am member of these organizations. So it's like 30, 40, 10. But which is very important is like one, two, or three what makes them interesting regarding what drives their interest. They should
Mm.
actually involve like what makes them interesting, uh, being involved with the organizations or clubs. It is very important rather than like being the member of any organization. It's very interesting, important. So
Mm.
let's go more a bit about your work. So
Mhm.
you're an impact driven change maker. Can you share a little bit about that? Uh, how you are a change maker, impact driven change maker?
Yeah, I think that's kind of being manifested in everything I do. So I'm not like it's very for me. It's very hard to put me in a box. Like say that okay, I'm a doctor or I'm whatever, like a profession. But then when doing things and when building the career, I'm more like focusing on the meaningfulness behind the actions and like why do I think do things, and then definitely looking into the impact. Like okay, how big of an impact? Now for me, it's in terms of climate. Do I make by contributing in this way or by building this thing, or what is really the most effective way to well fight against the climate change? And now I think it's like 73% of the people, like human cost carbon dioxide emissions, are caused by energy. So at the moment, for the reason I'm then obviously looking into the energy, like hey, how can we decarbonize that? So, and there is many ways for doing that, but I think that's then um, kind of the impact-driven change maker title. That okay, it's more about like how to solve problems that are meaningful instead of doing something and then looking into how can I apply this specific tool, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, yep, definitely. And
So that's how I think about it.
no, true. So can you share a little bit on that your experience with being innovation management specialist, uh, that role?
Yeah, absolutely. So that then again, background. So after the So yeah, I wrote my bachelor's thesis too. or for a big corporation. It's like an engineering company that builds and designs factories and maintains them. And then afterwards, during studying or during my master's, then I was already working for the same company. And then also later on wrote my thesis, or like master's thesis, for this specific company about learning from experiences in a project environment. And then throughout my master's, I had this innovation specialist role. It was basically about thinking about how to harness all the ideas that are like being created across the company and really turn them into innovations and something that is creating value. And why it was interesting, it was that they have like they still have at least 30,000 people working across the globe, across regions and countries and across different cultures. So how can we make sure that every like at least good idea is like taking into account and having the chances for becoming implemented? So yeah, I was thinking about the system and then the implementation of that, like not like an IT tool only, but like the way organizations should be structured and how to build the culture that is encouraging everybody to innovate and share ideas. So yeah, I think it was actually super interesting and rewarding as well when seeing the ideas actually being commercialized, for example, if being an idea like that.
Great.
Yeah,
You love sports. So
yeah.
can you share how being into sports is helping you? Uh, how sports is helping you in
Mm,
your uh, like work? How it helps
yeah,
you motivated or inspired? How like
yeah.
as you play sports, so how
Mm,
indirectly or indirectly it's helping you to be good at what you do at your work or whatever you do.
yeah. I think I've always done a lot of sports, and then, well, back in the days, I used to compete in swimming, so I was training like 10 times a week, or like a lot any case, and like really dedicated my free time to sports and swimming. And I think, well, maybe some kind of drive and also the habit for working hard came from there. Long days and really having clear goals and then working towards them is nothing new. So maybe then I'm still kind of, well, maybe utilizing those learnings. But nowadays, then, and okay, then I plays like Finnish basketball. There is a team sport. It's very good for learning how to communicate with people and that kind of things. Nowadays, the sports are a way for like, gaining energy, for sure, and having some me time, and then also, yeah, it's like so good for not like a meditation, but kind of, and just like for recovering, and yeah, I'm getting so much energy from sports, and yeah, that I don't know even what to say. I think it's just like very important for having the balance as well. You refer to time management. So I'm not the person who is all the time working, and sports are there. One thing that that is balancing.
Great. And can you share like the importance of having a mentor or a coach
Mm,
or like a role
yeah,
model to like to get motivated in whatever a person is
mm,
doing in their professional or entrepreneurial life.
yeah,
Or
sure.
do you have mentor too?
Not actively, but more like I do have mentors, and I'm very privileged to have so many fantastic people around me and very experienced people who are there to support and guide and also share advice if needed, or then just like encourage if I start to hesitate or something. So they are like just pushing, like say, yeah, yes, you go, and it's gonna be fine. Super important. Starting from the role models. So I think for everybody, it's good to look around, like what kind of people are there? How did they build that company, or how did they become that, or whatever it might be, what went well, what didn't go so well, how can I learn from that, maybe find some inspiration from there. But then to the mentors, so maybe coaches. So then when building this NGO, Ambitious Africa, and basically it was we wanted to build bridges between the African and Nordic countries via education, entrepreneurship, and entertainment. We had like teams in roughly 25 countries and so on, and like hundreds of volunteers, so on. Long story short, we wanted to make it very successful, and it was a lot of work. And there we had many, and it was my first time building anything so big, and the first time building an NGO like that. So there we had 4 co-founders, and we had many mentors who had already built big organizations previously, and they were there to maybe ask some relevant questions like, hey, have you thought about this, how are you reaching these people, or then they just recommended people to meet, or maybe suggested some things, or gave feedback to the organizational strategy we built, for example. So there the mentors were super valuable for guiding, not working for us, but just like being there to support. For example, Yasim Samp has been super valuable mentor for me personally, who helped in anything related to Ambitious Africa. And yeah, couldn't be there without her. Just an example.
Yeah, definitely great. And like overall, all the things or work you are doing, how do you see it? How your work is creating an impact?
Hey, I'm sorry. I think my internet connection died for a second. So could you repeat the
Yeah,
question?
definitely. So,
Thank you.
how your works are creating an impact in the community or in another country, or it can be for another community or your community. So, how are you creating impact in the community or in
Mm,
the society or in the country? How do you see it?
yeah. So, well, for example, now the PhD is all about getting rid of fossils in the global level, starting maybe from European level, Finland, so on, for making the future good for us, so that we can continue living in the planet. So I think that's kind of relevant for everybody and very impactful. The
Definitely.
luxury of having fresh air, energy, that kind of things, and good life quality for everybody. So that's maybe the bigger thing. Of course, is a lot about the environment, but also social and financial aspects as well for making it work. Then, if thinking about the smaller scale things, I've been, for example, now I came from the Lotus Gala, and it was super nice to see how the accelerator called Forward that we built for the first time is still running, and now is like getting bigger, better, and there's many companies coming out of the program, and there's like external money even coming or being funded to these companies. So it's like very I'm not there anymore. It's not me to thank, but it's like still super nice to see how the heritage is going forward. Or then now we're then again with Lotus organizing this entrepreneurial bootcamp in Kenya, in Mombasa area for like 25 women, at least every year. So it's also been nice to see how that program has grown into much more like mature thing, and now there's many new companies locally being born in Mombasa area. So like that kind of small things are very nice. It's not only me, of course, but still knowing that I've been able to contribute those or initiate those, it's super nice, and how it's really shaping the lives of people. Yeah, that kind of things. Then there's like a sailing club that I co-founded back in the days, and now they're sailing every year. So like that kind of small things are very nice
Great,
and
like
meaningful.
yeah, satisfaction and seeing the impact in other people's lives is very very important. So
Mm.
as you mentioned about your PhD, so can you share in brief what is it about? You mentioned just earlier, but why
Yeah.
you choose
Mm.
the topic of your PhD and how it is
Yeah.
going to help, is you mentioned
Mm.
people clean air. So if you just in
Yeah.
brief, what is it about and how it is going to create an impact in
Yeah.
other people's life, and why did you choose that topic?
Okay. Yeah. Starting from maybe the like, what is this power to X? It's a bit cryptic, the word or term. So basically, well, do you have the climate change? I mean, the current system is pretty much based on fossils and like not like fossil energy and so on. We need to fix that. So power to X as a concept is to do with hydrogen and how when green electricity is not enough, so wind, solar, that kind of things, that should be there for sure. When they're not enough, we can use hydrogen to decarbonize, let's say, heavy industries. We can use it in transportation, or we can convert it back to electricity. So there's many applications. So their power to X, what it means, it means the entire system based on hydrogen. Hydrogen we can make from water, so H2O, right? So then from water, we can split water with clean electricity, and then we get oxygen and hydrogen. Super simple. Water turns into hydrogen, oxygen, and then from the hydrogen we can build like we can use it as such, but then we can also add, for example, CO2 to it, and then make all kinds of derivatives and synthetic fuels and like anything we want, uh, or anything we want to make the current energy system more sustainable and actually clean. Um, yeah, so there's a huge systemic change. But for example, in Finland now and in Europe and globally as well, there's now a lot of investments going to building this like hydrogen economy and power to X like ecosystem. And yeah, I'm looking at how to make it happen in practice and what does it cost, for example, and where are the best market opportunities for really building the ecosystem that is thriving and actually sustainable. Yeah, that's
Great,
yeah, very broad topic,
great, yeah,
but
great,
it's
and also
very like a lot to work on. That.
yeah, sustainability is the future. All the business and all the people, they should like find ways, sustainable ways to do business, to do
Mm.
things. So
Yeah,
as you dwell on that, how do you see teamwork or selecting right team members for doing anything?
mm. Yeah,
Why it is so important to selecting right team members, not out of emotional emotion based selection or
mm.
friends who are not competent. So how do you see that if any team who has right team
Mm.
members, it can be for startup, it can be for group activities or like
Yeah.
joint initiative foundation, so how right team members can increase the success rate of any initiative? How do you see it?
Yeah, in general, I think it's super important to have diverse teams. Uh, like a lot of like people bringing in different skills, different backgrounds, um, just like everybody needs to have something unique to bring in the table. So if there was like only 10 Mayas in a team, I don't think that would be great. But then one Maya and then 9 other people will probably take us forward. And now in terms of my research, so I'm currently working on 2 research papers, and it's very like great to have people from different faculties and also from um, different like faculties, meaning that I look from the industrial engineering side and then the financials, but then we have sustainability experts, we do have electric engineers, chemical engineers, like everybody coming together, because without that and the very multidisciplinary knowledge, that wouldn't be really feasible. And I think like in general, whenever building something new, it's super important to look things from multiple perspectives and really bring this like diverse set of people together to solve problems, so we can also build a future that is there for everybody and not just for a few. Yeah, applies to this Partex thing, or I think to any other team. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Diverse people, like set of people, diversity, but also inclusion and the sense of belonging there. Then for really getting the innovations out.
All members should be passionate about the same goal with the mission and vision of the initiative,
Mm.
or like the what they want to solve.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
so
definitely like common goals also.
definitely.
Yeah, needs to be
So
the
you see a lot of
point.
like you are involved with um, various activities where university students are involved. You are
Mm,
you do things with other people. So how do you see what skills university students should develop? Like
mm,
before graduation, so that like sometimes in our country, because university students sometimes they don't know, some of them don't know which by having the major, which
mm.
sector they can explore after their
Yeah.
graduation. And sometimes say, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, but some of them have no access to information and they have no knowledge on entrepreneurship. So
Mm,
and some people that who want to explore professional sector, they don't know which skills they should develop before graduation or to perform the activities of that particular role. So
mm,
how do you suggest, or can you share some advice for the students, what
mm.
areas or skill sets that they can develop before graduation while they are in university?
Yeah, that yeah, that is a very very good question. Many must think about that. And personally, I think uh, it's just about learning how to learn and staying curious, because the world continues changing all the time. So it's not enough to learn some specific skill now and then just keep on doing that, but it's about learning new all the time and being like remaining kind of curious all the time and just trying things out and learning by doing, and then that will take you a long way. And I think that also helps in studying. Like when you know how to study, then it's much more effective and efficient to also really understand the things you are studying and not just read some notes and try to remember those. So yeah, that's also very important after the studies as well. Like keep on learning new things and being curious, asking questions. Okay, that's a good one too. Learning how to ask questions is a good one. So then again you can learn more instead of just
Definitely.
guessing yourself. Yeah, I'm naming those.
Definitely, this is very very important. And also like explore thyself. When they
Mm,
like explore a lot of things, they can visualize and realize which areas like they can explore after the graduation, and the requirements of specific activities or for the work or the career path they want to explore. This is very very important, and this
mm.
is true. Asking question, it's a very big skill and very good skill to develop and explore. So thank you so much. We are at the end of our session, and like we wanted to know a bit about you, how you see things from your university. So thank you so much for like sharing your journey and giving some insights to our audience. We believe our audience, they will get an insight about like how people are doing things in different countries. They can learn, they can like it will open their eyes in different way. So thank you so much. And on behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, we like to share that very best of luck in your future career.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me here today. It was so nice being here and joining you and sharing some of my thoughts, and happy to continue the chat in the future as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great. So, dear audience, whatever you have learned today, and just try to like practice it in small step, explore, do things, and then you will finally going to explore and understand what you want to be and the things skills you should develop. So having that note, have a good night everyone, and you, why you have a good day. Thank you so much.
thank you. Bye.